At about 5:30, I didn't even realize I got this email until like 30 minutes before we started, before I jumped on.
Mhm.
And I finally got the email from Nintendo for my opportunity to buy a Switch 2 on the Nintendo shop. No
Of course.
fucking joke. No joke. So the question is, what do you want to switch to? What do you want to buy a Switch to?
I will pass.
Yeah, me too.
Not because I don't want it. Well, yeah, that's one reason, but also, it's just expensive.
No, I get it.
for
I get it.
for the one
I-
game. It's two games that I would like to have on that one, which is Mario Kart and Donkey Kong,
yeah.
and Metroid. But it is not, or now is not a good time.
No,
It's like
I
me and
get
the
it.
PS5. It's like I just want it for Spider-Man when new Spider-Man games come out. I can't justify $500 just to play one game.
And isn't it Wolverine too? Like, is it gonna be exclusive? Let me see.
I think so.
Well, while he looks that up, let's go to the intro.
Guys, welcome to the Nerd Archive podcast.
The little guy, Bilbo or Pippin, whatever the hell his name is.
Nintendo fans, I see a lot of people getting it, just freaky corner.
Hey, there you go.
It did, but whatever.
What can you
Yes.
do?
Wolverine will be a PS exclusive.
Yeah, there you go.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Nerd Archive podcast. My name is Lewis, and as always, I have Justin, Yadi, but not as always, we don't have Lola today. So keep her in your thoughts and prayers. She's fine. She's had a long week, so it's good to take a mental day. And it's always good to do that. And I just realized that. There we go.
I was going to say, what did you do?
I was recording a video earlier and it looked too like warm. So I switched the color, the temperature of the light, and now it was too cool, I guess. It happens. It happens to the best of us. But thank you for joining us today. We have a lot to talk about. We have talked like the Switch 2, the first thoughts. Justin has been playing on stream, so if you are wondering what it looks like, you can find after you watch this today, you can go to all of our live sessions and you will see that the two previous to this one are live streams of the Nintendo Switch 2.
We also have a what is it? A Nerd Archive Gaming playlist right there on the main page.
There you
just
go.
Scroll down a little bit and you'll see it right there, and it's all the newest ones are like right there at the top of the playlist.
Correct. And then also we're going to be talking about something that Xbox just announced and some things that Apple announced that are going to come for the new iOS, everything iOS, including a new name for it.
Apple's coming.
Ooh, yes, please. All over me.
Apple juice.
Apple juice. I'll take the apple juice any day.
I actually missed the whole WWDC thing, so I'll just be kind of following along, listening, and
It's fine because I called it the WWE yesterday.
WWE Money in the Bank.
Yeah, the WCW, actually, I called it.
Yep.
And my brother was like, there was an event for wrestling this weekend? I'm like, yes.
Kind of was.
There was, but that's not what I'm talking about.
True enough. Well,
It
I
was
mean,
2.
speaking of which,
Yeah.
briefly, I honestly don't know what to make of Money in the Bank. Like, I'm honestly not sure they should have gone the direction they did, but
With
they
both,
did. So
with the
yeah, it just
female and male.
it's just
matches.
it's rather weird. Like, I didn't really take too much stock in the women's Money in the Bank, but for the men's Money in the Bank, just seriously, come on, Seth Rollins. He's already a main event player. Why not? You could have him in the title picture at any time.
Right.
Yeah, it's just what the way they have him running, but both matches were actually very entertaining.
Mm.
It was very good. The male had more good spots than the female, but the female did very good too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I gotta go back and watch it. I'm sure it's on Netflix.
No,
Money in the Bank?
they
Peacock.
still have they still
Peacock.
have
Yeah.
live events on Peacock, the main events or like pay-per-view kinda.
Yeah.
But then the Raw show yesterday was actually kinda like a pay-per-view. That was actually very good. Very entertaining.
Yeah,
I gotta
watch
catch
it.
up and I gotta catch up and watch that. But I got spoiled finding out that Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, lost the World Heavyweight Championship to
Well, thank
Gunther.
you for spoiling it for me.
Well, I got spoiled, so you get spoiled. So shut up. No.
I waited like when it was like
Is there
almost
any
done.
movie you haven't seen yet? I'm about to like.
Spoil.
Spoilers. Jaws, the shark dies at the end.
Hooray! I've seen that already.
But then Jaws 2 for some reason comes back.
Stranger Things. He
Oh,
hasn't
Stranger
seen
Things.
Stranger
Ooh, Stranger Things. Are you ready?
Go ahead, spoil it
No,
for
I'm
me.
not-
Get my,
I'm not gonna do
get
that.
my,
I'm
get my
not an
excitement-
asshole like
get my
you are.
excitement.
I'm
my
not an
excitement
asshole
up.
like you know. I'm not an asshole like you are.
He doesn't want to get you excited.
I'm not gonna get you excited. I'm not gonna tell you that Vecna is number one. And I don't mean number one villain. I mean number one. You're gonna see it later when they show number one.
Oh, I just got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jey
I
Uso
will-
got it.
I will take your word for it.
You gotta watch it because season 5 is coming out this year, dude.
No, I know. I said the same thing in last week's episode. I really need to take the time out to start binging that. But yeah, I'm not even sure if it's going to be this week because there's a lot of shit. I got a lot of editing to do this week.
It's fine. It's fine. But whenever you start, like season 1, 2, and 3, they're regular episodes. You can watch them slowly, whatever. But season 4, you have to like take time out because the last 2 episodes are an hour and a half long.
Oh, that's right. You were saying they're basically like feature-length movies.
Almost. And then season 5, I hear that all the episodes are going to be almost 2 hours long.
Holy shit!
Because
that explains why that explains why they're splitting it up into like 2 or 3 different sections and not just doing the whole season.
They finish all of it.
Oh yeah,
but they're making sure that like they'll release the first 3 episodes, and then the second part, and then the third part.
right.
But there's so much to unpack on this season that they don't want to rush it, so they just made it longer because they know people have been waiting for this, so they don't want to. They don't want to mess it up for people like they did with what is it? The dragons. The shows of the dragons.
Game of Thrones.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, that. Well, I mean, apparently they've been fucking up House of the Dragon as well.
Yeah, well,
In recent
I
seasons.
watched the first 2 episodes and I said,
Which series?
House of the Dragon.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I mean the first season's pretty good. I haven't seen the second season. I've heard some good things about it, but then like third season is just like people just got pissed
Right.
off, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to continue this. I'm not even sure if I'm going to go into the second season.
Yeah. So with that being said,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the main event, the Switch 2?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jey Uso. Never mind.
No, we're done with that. We're done with that.
That was a bit of a detour right there at the beginning.
Yeah,
which,
it's us.
yeah, we tend to do that. I'm enjoying it thus far. Mostly been playing Mario Kart World, as we said at the beginning of the episode. And I haven't really had a chance to get on any of the other games yet to see how much they've improved, save for what was it? Pokemon Violet, which has vastly improved over its performance on the Switch 2. Like, there is a lot more going on. It runs a hell of a lot smoother. It looks better. At least for what you can do with what's already there. So it's just like, make some improvements to the visual quality and what have you, the frame rate. And then there's a lot more Pokemon on the screen moving around than there ever were when the game first came out on Switch 1. So,
okay.
like, there's a lot more shit going on, and it can handle that game. I'm surprised how well it does. And
without being too glitchy.
oh yeah. I'm curious as to if they've solved a lot of the glitches that were going on with the game when it was on Switch 1. I would have hoped they would. To be honest, I would have hoped they would have fixed it on Switch 1, but I'm guessing that they were probably, you are muted.
The fact that you call it Switch 1.
Well, that's what everyone else is calling it. So might as well,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they had just realized that, let's just save what we can do for Switch 2 and just kind of work towards that. And then, once we've gotten that, nailed down and sorted, then we'll see, we'll get what we can done for Switch 1, hopefully. But
right.
at this point, I haven't really seen anything in the way of improvements on Switch 1. But then again, I haven't played it on Switch 1 in so long that I couldn't really tell you. I definitely want to jump on some of the other games, especially Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and see those improvements. But from what I've played thus far, I'm actually I'm pleasantly surprised. And I think I said this on stream. It's like with everything that's in Mario Kart World so far, I'm glad that they did the bulk of the development with the Switch 2 in mind.
Right.
With everything that we've gotten so far, and the question being, is it worth $80? I'm still leaning towards no at this stage. I haven't finished the game and found everything yet, so it's like I haven't experienced everything the game has to offer. But yeah, at this point, I'm still leaning towards no.
Got it.
Yeah, like, have they been historically known for making updates for the previous gen while they have a new one out? I don't think they have, right?
Well, they're going to be, they understand and they know full well that the Switch 2 is an expensive console and it's a fairly big ask for a lot of people. And so they did say that, yes, you still have the Switch 1 as an option. If you still have your Switch 1 and, you can't get a Switch 2 yet, don't give up the Switch 1 because they're still going to keep supporting it. So there's still games coming out for the system. So they're still in active development.
No, I just asked to see, like, if the value of it will stay alive for a long time, so that way I can make some money when I sell mine.
Well, I'm not. To be honest,
That's a good question.
I'm not entirely sure because fuck, GameStop's only offering like a little over $100 for the Switch OLED.
Yeah, but they never offer
Oh,
much.
of course not. Of course not. They never do because obviously they fucking suck. So
Yeah, but if they were fucking smart, they would offer a little bit more so that way people can buy the other one. And the more they sell, the better their numbers look.
no, I get that. I get that. I mean, but I think they did have like a 20% bump. I think about a month or so ago, around the time when Switch 2 pre-orders started. So it's like you get an extra 20% in trade-in if you pre-order the Switch 2, and that I think was on any game hardware.
What they're giving a lot of credit for is the Nintendo DSs. Like when for the trade-in values.
Huh.
Because a lot of people are looking for those so they can mark it up.
Right, at this time, yeah, because they're not making new ones, and with the Switch
Right.
OLED, they're still making them. So
Right.
Oh yeah.
So when it comes to, because I saw somebody that posted that they got like 150 for their Nintendo DS because they're selling it for a lot more because now they have the retro GameStop stores and they're selling it for a lot more.
That they're taking advantage of the secondhand market for retro games, because it's like at this point that market is like overinflated as far as pricing is concerned.
And I completely understand that, but you have to also understand that if you go on eBay, people are going to still buy them. So might as well, if they want to keep making money and they want to stay relevant, they got to do what they need to do. It's like Abercrombie and Guess, they have secondhand stores because they know that the thrifting communities, it's big and people want to buy their stuff from the 90s. So they're technically taking trade-ins also and reselling it. So for a markup, for a ridiculous markup.
Of course. Well, I mean, what else do you expect? They got to make their money somehow.
Right. So GameStop, if they know that right now people are they're only driven by nostalgia right now. A lot of people are not buying new stuff. They're rather buy a Nintendo 64 or a PlayStation 1 than anything else.
And
because
go
ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
If you tell me that I can drop $250 on a retro game or a vintage console compared to a Nintendo Switch, I'm gonna go with the vintage console.
And then the other thing too is like people out there are very skeptical when it comes to buying used technology from a private seller, basically.
Right.
So they probably knowing me, if the price is very similar in the store, that they have tested it and whatnot,
and you
I
can give
pay
me
with a
like
credit
at
card.
least 7 days of warranty, because
Right.
they'll at least give you 7 days of warranty. So I agree with Yadi. I would totally take the name brand selling it for the same price the private sell. But at the same time, you got to think about it. People like us, we want to sell things and we want you to support us, and we don't want to sell something that's not working. So, but at the same time, it could be somebody that's been taken advantage of before, and they're like, I don't trust it. Regardless if you have 100% on like feedback on eBay, I still don't trust it, because what if I'm that 1%?
Well, yeah, no, it makes sense, and that's entirely fair because it's based on their experience. If they don't want to take that risk, then they're not going to. And you can't, like, as much as you probably want to sell something that you know that you think could have a second life with somebody else, you can't really blame them for not wanting to take that risk.
Right. So, but the Switch 2, to me, it looks fantastic. I love the look of it, even though it's very similar to the first one. What I think is that the dock looks way better than the first one. I'm not a big fan of like boxy things. So seeing some curve and things on the dock, it makes me it makes me want to buy it compared to the first one. But at the same time, Nintendo kind of has, and I'm gonna say it, might have a competitor out there right now.
Highly unlikely, but
with
go on.
announcement. Well, Xbox announcing the collaboration with Asus.
Mm-hmm.
So at least the way that the console itself looks like, because a lot of the complaints for people with the Switch is that it feels like, and this has been a thing since the first one. This is why people go and buy like aftermarket grips for them, because for adults with big hands that want to play the Switch, it's like,
Oh yeah, it's a big part of why the cracked Nitro deck
Right.
has been as successful as it is, which I get.
Right. So we have to see when it comes to how it's going to perform. Is it going to look better? Is it going to, and when I mean, is it going to look better? I mean, more like performance wise, not the look, because we can see how it looks right now.
Oh, absolutely. I honestly think that specs wise, pound for pound, it's going to perform a fair bit better than the Switch 2, but it's not going to be priced competitively.
Oh no.
I would be astounded if this was priced under $700.
Yeah, I was thinking they're gonna go for like 800. I was trying to search to see if they have a price out for it, but
They
something
haven't.
similar like the Rock Ally is at 899
Well,
already.
that's what I'm saying. It's generally what it's based on. It's just got it's got the extra collaboration with Microsoft, including like the Xbox Store and whatnot, and the Xbox branding. So like that gives you that bit of extra. What the hell do you want to call it? You know, more games and stuff like that you can draw from.
Right. So looking here, it has an AMD Ryzen AI Z2, which extreme powering. The device alongside a 24 gig RAM and 1 terabyte of storage with a 120 hertz refresh rate.
I feel like they copy PlayStation with the design a little bit, not how it looks, but basically like the little like XYAB all around the whole console. Is very much this like the controllers for the PlayStation. They all had those little things, at least like
Right.
the regular ones. This one is the Pro, um, but yeah, like I like that nice little. It looked like carbon fiber.
Yeah, it does. And it kind of, the way that the Joy-Cons are set up and everything, it looks like an Xbox controller with a screen in the middle.
You know, that's the one thing I never liked about the Xbox is how they laid it out, because I'm always so used to the PS4, PlayStation's controllers, since they have analog sticks, and having it like offset makes me grab the controller a little bit weird. So I never got used to that when I had an Xbox.
And
Never
I think
liked
that the only reason that they went that way is because they didn't want to make it the same.
Yeah.
Because PlayStation had been in the market for a while now, so it's not like they made it at the same time and let's see which one performs better with the same controller.
Yeah. Yep.
It was more of a, okay, we got to switch it up.
Well, I mean,
And then-
there's a lot of factors that go into that. Like, yeah, you definitely on one hand, you want to differentiate from your competition because you don't want to have everything be the same, because then it's like, okay, who the hell is going to be able to tell the difference? How do you stand out so that people are going to say, hey, I should buy this rather than that? Not only that, but like certain companies will have patents on certain certain ways that controllers are designed. Like the whole reason why the Xbox controller is what is it, A, B, X, and Y instead of B, A, Y, and X, because that's what Nintendo uses, and they've been using that for pretty much forever.
And right, so they use the same buttons but in a different layout because they knew, okay, this is what people are used to, so let's not change it up, because now PlayStation went a different route with pretty much like shapes. So let's keep what people know with Nintendo, which is the OG, not including Atari. We're talking about buttons.
Yeah.
So let's keep it that way, but let's switch it a little bit so it's not the same. So
But
I go ahead.
You know the main reason why they name it Xbox, right? Because basically, where the box of the controller and the PS4 and the PlayStation is a square, so it's a box, and then they place the X on that one, just mocking PlayStation.
Are you just saying that?
I just made it up.
I figured.
Yeah.
It only it didn't have to do with the fact that the first Xbox was a box with a big X on top of it.
Yeah, no,
Well, I mean, if you want to go further back than that, the prototype for the Xbox was literally shaped like an X. It literally was designed as the letter X. Like, look it up. Look up the original Xbox prototype. It's good. It's crazy.
I am now.
But they obviously they changed the design to something a bit more feasible, I guess. Because I don't think that kind of form factor would have worked out. Shit, the original Xbox was a fucking tank, dude.
Yeah, I have it somewhere.
Now we have like PCs that are like 3 times the size of that, and we still think that the Xbox was too big.
Well, I'm talking in terms of like you could buy an Xbox, like an original Xbox that was like one of the first ones manufactured, and that fucker will still run. That's what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, it was a beast in terms of size, but it was a fucking tank that you could not break with regular use.
Yeah, mine still works.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could break it with a hammer, sure, but
yeah, of course. But mine still works. It's on my TV console. It's not plugged in, but it still works. But then the first one is indestructible, but then the 360, the Ring of Death.
Oh yeah.
Within a year and a half of use, if that.
Hell, some probably got maybe. I mean, if you were unlucky enough, a couple of weeks before they got hit with that.
That was the first one, like the first wave of Xbox 360s that came out.
Well, even some of the second wave had the problems because they had stuck with that design until they went with until they completely changed the design. I think it was like a year and a half before the release of the Xbox One.
So I do have to say that the PlayStation 4 may sound like an engine running, but it still runs. The Xbox 360 was the only thing with the PlayStation 3 that had like it was bad, defective, was the laser lens. That one, for the most part, went out, and that's what happened to mine. So when I had the PlayStation 3, I had to just play the demos that I could download.
Oh wow!
Because I couldn't play any disc on it, and then buying like online games, that wasn't a thing. You could, but it was very limited. They didn't have the whole library like they do now. You buy that every single game they release now, it's digital too. Back then it wasn't. You only had demos because they wanted you to try it out.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that digital distribution was still in its infancy at the time.
Yeah. So, but I do have to say that when it came to like the PlayStation 4 compared to the Xbox One, it ran like a motherfucker, but it was loud.
Well, it's weird though. Mine didn't start sounding like a jet engine until years into its use. And
Yeah.
at that point, like when it started sounding like a fucking jet engine, I'm like, what the hell's going on with this? And then like a year after it started doing that is when it started locking up on me. And I'm like, yeah, I need to buy a new one.
I'm surprised that mine still doesn't sound too crazy. My
Yeah.
PS4 and still works because the kid uses sometimes for Fortnite.
Mm.
I used it till the PS5 came out, of course.
Right.
But still
Do
works.
you have the Pro?
No,
No.
the original PS4.
Okay.
Yep.
Which is even more impressive.
Yeah, and I still have the slim PS3. I had a fat PS3, but I had the yellow light of death on that
Ooh.
one. And I went to get it fixed, and they couldn't fix it, and they still wanted to charge some money. I was like, well, keep it. I don't want it. And
You can fix it, you can sell it, you get your money back, but I don't want it.
yeah.
Can't
And I
fix
regret
it.
I regret leaving it because now I could have it as a
Like
somewhere
what
over here.
what I have with the PlayStation 1 and 2. Because I bought
Yep.
it at the flea market and I paid $10 for it. Does it
Yeah,
work? I have no idea. I didn't buy it because it worked. I bought it because I want to have him like propped up somewhere.
A display
Yeah.
piece.
A display piece, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I have the Xbox. They're displayed right now. So
I think we have a PS1 somewhere, a original PS2 and the Slim.
yeah, both the PlayStations that I got are the original ones. Like the PS1 and PS2 are both the original ones. I think to me, and this is my personal opinion, the best looking PlayStation was the PS2, the original one.
The big one. I like the
Yeah.
Slim
Yep.
too. The Slim, I just that was a drastic
Yeah.
change in size when
Yeah.
they did that update.
Came with
That
its
was
own
crazy.
problems too, because the first
Yeah.
PS2 I ever got was the slim one, and day one that thing overheated, shut down, and I think we were playing one of the Ratchet and Clank games, and it overheated, shut down, and never turned back on again. Day one.
I never
First
had an
time-
issue with mine.
Yeah,
And I
first
played
time
Call of
I've
Duty in that thing. too.
first time I've ever had issues with any game console was that slim PS2. We took it back, and that was when PlayStation 2s were still like ridiculously hard to find. But then we wound up getting I think like a pre-owned fat PS2, which
I
worked.
did.
yes.
I did have issues with my PS2, the original one. I had 3 of them. I basically what I did was every time I play a specific game, and I think it was the Matrix game, it stopped working mid game, and you could hear it kind of got stuck. So it was the laser had issues. So I opened it up, the first one, and I fixed it. It enough so it could turn on a game because I knew how long they will plug in the consoles to test it. So I fixed it enough, and then traded it in and got another one.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
I did it a couple of times, but
I just like the design of the second one because it does like layers.
Mm.
I think that was pretty cool.
oh, you might like the lines on the PS5 Pro.
I saw it. It didn't entice me.
Yeah.
But
Same as their slim, basically.
yeah. So, but then what was the other thing? So you guys both agree that the Xbox handheld is going to be expensive because of the specs.
Oh, ridiculously
It's a
expensive.
computer.
Yeah,
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
there's a
how
lot of
expensive,
people.
laptops are right now.
Of
Mhm.
course, of course, and it's like I see, and I mean it's the same thing with all these other handhelds that are coming out. You see people like, oh, this is gonna be a Switch killer, or this is gonna be a Switch 2 killer. And I'm just like, it's a PC like it's a PC gaming hybrid, much like the Switch 2, but it's based on significantly stronger architecture, and it's niche. And
Right.
so you're basically looking at, it's like you're pricing out a vast majority of the market.
Well,
So
at least with the difference, I feel like the Nintendo's niche because of all the games exclusive that they have. So if a person that wants to get a handheld doesn't really play any Nintendo games, they'll go with that,
Mhm.
even though it's
Right.
more expensive.
If they have the money to make the choice, and like Yadi said, that they don't really care for the Nintendo games, they'll definitely choose the Asus.
But
Oh, no.
that would not take any sales
Yeah.
from the Switch. So this thing, Link, sorry, it would not take anything from the Switch 2 itself. Like it's gonna sell a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, speaking of which, there's a report coming out that right now is being backed up because it came out through Nintendo Prime and is being backed up by 3 separate sources. That it hasn't been confirmed just yet by Nintendo or any other outlets as of yet, but if this is correct, this is like the single biggest console launch in history. Reports are coming out that they sold over 3 million Switch 2s day one.
Which is impressive.
Because in my circle, the only one I know that has it is you.
No, I mean, I know you guys will have it eventually, and I understand why you're waiting. So, I get it.
Yadi's like, no, I'm okay.
I don't think it will get here. We got
Why
many
not?
Switches.
It'll take me about 2 or 3 years before I decide to do it, unless I win the lottery and then I order it tomorrow. But I will also be ordering the Asus Xbox. So
And a new
and the
PC.
PS5. Yeah, and a new gaming PC that I don't have to.
That you don't use for gaming.
Well, if
You
I
can
win the lottery,
actually
I would be.
that you a gaming PC that you can actually play Star Wars Jedi Survivor on.
Listen,
Sore spot.
listen. There's a reason why the last 3 games I bought have been on Xbox. Because I am not going to waste my money again. Because it's not okay that literally the computer stopped working on that game after the 2-hour mark that Steam gives you for the refund. It was like 2.5 hours of gameplay. Suck my dick, Steam. If it's not working, it's not working.
Mm. Well, that's EA. Honestly, it's typical EA. They don't. And now I don't even think there hasn't been an update for that game on Steam for
I wouldn't know.
at least a year. No, legit. There legitimately hasn't been an update
Arr.
for Jedi Survivor. Yeah. If you're wondering where that came from, tune in next month on the next episode of Nap Reacts.
Get away from the mic.
I'm seeing the future.
An upcoming episode, yeah. all of a sudden, I'm reminded of the DBC abridged Bardock, father of Goku, and the character in that one. I could see the future. Oh my god. Yeah. No, I honestly, yeah. I've said it before. Like the Switch 2 is gonna sell incredibly well, despite everything else. You know, despite all these other handhelds that are coming out, and despite the active, discouragement by certain people that are trying to convince people, oh, you shouldn't buy the Switch 2 because of this, and that reason. And it's like there's certain reasons I get, but there are others that just like seriously, just you're stirring shit to stir shit, you know. but
That's me.
that's what gets clicks, you know. But it's
Right.
like
There's also Nintendo haters.
I don't do that. Pretty much, it's the high school level console war shit that some people just never got over and still refuse to get over. It's just like, seriously, enjoy
Right.
what you enjoy and let other people like what they like, and there you go.
And that's
Everybody's
it.
happy. I mean, that's really all it takes. It's like, seriously, that one meme. It's like, oh, you shouldn't with the stick figures of everybody sitting around the TV playing the Switch 2, and the one guy at the back is just like, you shouldn't be shouldn't play don't play this because this reason, and everybody's just ignoring him playing it. And then like 2 frames, he's like screaming, "Stop having fun!"
Yeah.
Like that's literally what I see when I see people doing that. It's just dumb shit, clout chasing on the internet for literally nothing.
For no reason.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, seriously, like, okay, you enjoy what you enjoy. That's cool. I enjoy the Switch too, and I'm allowed to enjoy what I want. So I don't turn around and give people shit based on, oh, they're enjoying something that I don't have. I don't have a ROG Ally, so you shouldn't be able to enjoy that either. No, that's not how that works.
Right. All right. So, do you have anything else on the consoles? And I think that was pretty much before we move on to the WWDC,
WWE,
WCW,
WCW.
HGTV, my ADHD. So,
nah, I think I'm good.
Okay. What about Yadi?
Oh, good.
Okay. So, Apple has announced pretty much what I've seen is like one of the biggest updates that is happening, because they're switching a lot of things up, including, most importantly, now all the iOSs are going to be one name. It's going to be iOS 26 or the iPad iOS 26. Like, they're all going to have the same number, instead of having like the iPad iOS 16 and then something else is the 18 and something else is the 7. They're just gonna,
So they're unifying everything.
yeah. So what it looks like is they're gonna be calling it for whatever the year is.
Right. So iOS 26 for
half of, right, for the last couple months of 25, and then the 2026, and then 27 is going to be so on and so forth, which is, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's something that I'm surprised that it took him this long to do. One of the biggest things that I noticed that I liked is, because I get a lot of spam calls, it's the call screening. So when a spam risk calls you, Apple in the background, or not Apple, but the Siri in the background picks it up and pretty much screens the call. If it's something that sounds like a spam when they pick up, it'll show you on the screen a transcript of what they said, and it's up to you if you want to pick it up or not. So I think that's pretty cool. And also in the same like update with the call, it will also have call waiting. So, or hold assist, it's what it's called. So if they put you on hold, the AI recognizes that it's on hold, and it'll ask you, do you want us to wait for you? And you can continue doing what you're doing, and it'll play the music and all that in the background. Like, you don't even have to be on the phone. And once they pick up, it'll answer for you, and it'll tell them pretty much, you put me on hold, I'm putting you on hold. And it'll give you a time frame too. It's not going to keep them on hold for like 2 hours because you forgot you were on the call. It's going to send you a notification, hey, they picked up. So I think that's pretty cool. It's something that we didn't know we needed until they told us we have it. You know what I mean? Because I never thought about. I mean, I always hated being on hold, but I never saw a solution for it. But I guess Apple did.
Well, it makes sense, being on hold for 2+ hours when you'd rather be doing something else, or when you have a million other fucking things to do. And it's like you can't walk away from this call because it's an important one, and
Right.
it's just like you have no idea when they're going to come back on the call.
Right.
And so it's just like, but no,
And there's
that's
some
actually a nifty
companies.
feature.
There's some companies that will give you the option. Do you want to call you back when it's your turn? Which is cool, but not all companies offer that. So seeing
a
that now
lot.
you have the option pretty much with every company.
Mhm.
So I think it's pretty cool. Yadi, what did you like the most about this? Did you watch it, right?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did see the updates.
Right.
Most of them for the iPhone and the Watch OS. But at least with them basically making this look the same on all of the devices is very nice.
Yeah.
But sometimes I wish there's certain things would look different on my iPad when, versus my phone. One of the biggest updates they actually did, which I'm looking forward, is actually on the iPad.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Because it basically will work pretty close to a Mac. So that will be very interesting. And how you can, when you have multiple screens open, you can set them up, resize it very easy versus what you have right now. So
Yeah, I saw that, and then this one of the largest redesigns they've done since iOS 7, and they're on iOS 18. So they have this, what people are calling is this gorgeous new design. It's the
liquid glass.
Liquid glass.
Interesting.
That's the name of it. It's pretty much everything that you have on your screen. It's gonna be, and it looks like a bubble, and when I mean a bubble, I don't mean like it. I don't know how
Like
to
a
explain
magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Like if you put a magnifying glass on your screen, that you see just that specific portion, slightly bigger and whatnot.
Yeah.
And translucent because you can see through it.
Yeah, it looks like a soap bubble, pretty much. Like some things look like that. And it's just a design. I think it's pretty cool. They have you. Let's say we have a group chat. If we all had iPhones, just imagine it. You don't have to. You don't have to buy it, but just imagine it, right? And we have a group chat like we do, and we want to figure out what we want to talk about on this podcast. We have 4 options, so I can create a poll on the group chat, and people can vote on the group chat. And it shows you live as people are voting. But also, if you, let's say, I give you 4 options, but you thought of something else and you want to put it in the poll, you can also edit it and add it to it.
That's pretty neat.
And then now they also added the Apple Pay, because you were able to send money through Apple Pay to your contacts through through iMessage. Now you can actually do it on a group chat too. Let's say we all go out to dinner and I pay the bill. Instead of splitting the bill and you all send me the money, but instead of using like Cash App or whatever, you just all send it on that and I can cash it out. But you can pick who you're going to send it to. It's going to show up on the group chat like you send the money, but you pick who you want to send it to.
Gotcha.
So that doesn't mean that you send it to me and Yadi can cash it out.
I got you. So everybody on the chat sees it, but it's tied specifically to the person that you sent it to. So I'm assuming it shows specifically who it's supposed to go to.
Right.
I gotcha. Honestly, I mean, I think it's all pretty cool. Like as much as I've never really bothered too much with Apple, I honestly, I find it kind of cool that they're continuing to make all of these devices like that much more seamless between between hardware, which is really cool.
Yeah, like in your MacBook, if you have your phone, you can bring up your phone
Mhm.
screen on the MacBook, and you can use your phone through your computer.
Right. It's
So
like
they're making,
a screen mirror.
which I know Samsung has stuff like that, but at least
Yep.
they don't have. At least the way it works is just like it should be. Like
Right.
you expect the device to work when they have that feature.
One thing that I'm super excited for, it's the update for Apple CarPlay. They're completely redesigning it, and they're working with some car companies to integrate, because there's some cars that before if you wanted to change some settings on the phone or on for the car, you had to go through, like, take the CarPlay off and do it, or do it in the odometer screen or whatever. But now they're integrating all that stuff into CarPlay. Like, let's say you want to put there's some cars that you can, on the screen, you can put the air down or air up, like the AC. You can, now the CarPlay is going to have it. So you can do that. And something as simple as when you get your text messages on your CarPlay, before all you could do was respond through voice text. But now you can react, because I don't know if you guys have it on Android, but you can do reactions on text messages, like a smiley face or thumbs up or whatever, but they extended that to more emojis. But you weren't able to do that on the CarPlay, so now you can actually do that.
I gotcha. Yeah. I think they did start integrating more of that stuff into what Android is doing, especially since when they first made the switch over to RCS messaging.
Right.
And so I know, like it, despite both companies now using RCS messaging, it still doesn't like translate completely 100% between Apple and Android, or specifically Apple and Samsung. But I mean, as things progress, it'll start to.
Right. I feel like they'll integrate a little bit better. But so far, what they have, I guess it's cool, I think.
And one of the updates that they did for the iPhone, it's the which they haven't changed in a while, but it's the layout for the camera app.
Yeah.
They simplify it, but you have to dig in a little bit more now for the people that like to change all the settings and whatnot. So I wonder how it would work with the button, because at least what I saw with the new camera button and the newer ones, but what I saw in the video was just them changing the settings on the screen. I'll be curious. I don't know, Justin, if you know how this button works, but it's like you can slide, like, to zoom in and out. You can just like,
Oh
no,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
even
yeah.
touch.
I did watch that part on what was I think it was like the year priors when
Oh,
the six I think when the iPhone
iPhone
16 was
16.
first introduced,
Yeah.
yeah,
with all the new features that you could do with that action button.
yeah. So I'm curious to see how it works now with the new
Mm.
system.
I wonder if when it comes to the button, they'll keep the same features, or if they change anything, it's going to be probably minuscule, because they already had a lot on that button. But when they simplify the camera app, is right now, like, let me see so I can tell you exactly what it is. Like, I have the camera open, and it opens on photo, and then if you slide to the right, you got portrait, panoramic, and then if you slide to the left, you got video, cinematic, slow-mo, and time lapse. So now there's only going to be two. It's going to be video, or photo. If you want more, then
You can still slide.
you still slide. But let's say the way that they explain it was, there's a moment happening and you want to capture it right away. You don't want to have to, you don't want to open it and it's on cinematic, but you want it on video and it's on photo or it's on slow motion, and that's not what you want. So it's simplified unless you have you have the time to look, then you can do that. And also the settings, you slide up and all your settings for the camera will pop up there. Like you don't have to press a button on top for something to come out and then find which one you're looking for. Which of those buttons is what I'm looking for. Now it's all simplified, which is cool. I think I like how they're going back to their roots where everything was simple.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole thing of between Apple and Android, that Apple things were a lot more simple. And then they wanted to compete with Android, and they started like making things a little bit more, and I say complicated, like it was difficult. It's not. It's just a couple more steps, which it doesn't really matter. But they're going back to simplifying things.
Intuitive,
right?
Which is basically a nice way of saying, a more complicated than the average user would. And it makes sense, and it works out, I think, and I think it's better that way for the majority of users that don't like to dig deep into like specific fine-tuning camera settings and whatnot. And like, especially if you said you have something that you want to just get into and take a video or a photo real quick, you have it right there, the two most common things that people would want to use immediately right there, and then you can just start doing what you need to do in literally just like 2 seconds.
Right. And one of the settings that one of the things that they're changing in the settings is that before, if you wanted to shoot at 4K 30, but your camera was set up to 1080 24 or 30 or whatever, and if you wanted to change it, you had to tap it until you found the one that you wanted. It'll switch by tapping. Now you just hold it and they all pop up and you just pick the one that you want, which it was also simple before, but it made things complicated. And now that you say the way you worded what you said, it makes sense. Also, it made me think of like the older people that have iPhones. They don't care about the cinematic. They just want to take a video of their grandson.
Yep.
They don't care about that stuff. They just want to take a video or take a picture. They don't care if it's portrait or not.
Mm-hmm.
To them, it looks the same. They still got to put their glasses on to see how the picture looks.
Oh yeah. Well, that's one side of it. Like the other side of it would be like the younger crowd that doesn't doesn't yet know about all of those like deep dive features and whatnot. They just want to go in, shoot a video for like TikTok or take some pictures for Instagram and things like that. And it makes things simple. So you, like I said, you go in,
right.
You're off to the races in literally less than 2 seconds.
Right. So I am looking forward to this because Sarah and I have not upgraded our phones since, and we were the new one comes out, we get it every year. We literally have the iPhone 14 and we haven't switched. And we got it right when the iPhone 14 came out. So it's like we were halfway through and we're like, oh, the 15 is coming out. Might as well just wait. No, we just nothing. We stopped drinking the Kool-Aid.
I thought you guys updated when the 16s came out.
Nope. We still have the 14s.
Huh.
The only reason I wanted the 16 was for the camera button. That is the only reason. Sophia has the 16, but it's because it was time for upgrading and Jordan was old enough to get a phone, so their mom got them. Gave Jordan her old phone, Sophia's old phone, and gave Sophia a new phone. That's the only reason. But now that we want to upgrade, because now Sarah's like deep diving into more of like TikTok and Instagram and all that again for Reels. So she wants a better camera, which I completely understand, especially with how the phones are upgrading their screens so they look better. So you want to upgrade your camera so when you make a video for those screens, they look good. So now we're thinking about upgrading, but at the same time, the 17 is about to be announced.
I was about to say when's the 17 supposed to drop, or has that even been announced yet?
It's the end of September, early October.
Gotcha.
Yep, they usually wait.
Yeah, so right now her camera is a little messed up because the glass in the camera broke.
Ooh.
So the
Gotta
camera,
use the back camera.
well, the back camera is what broke.
Oh, I thought it was the screen. In the
Yeah,
front.
no. The glass in one of the cameras for her broke, and every time she said, "Oh, I can see the nipple," because there's like this glare that looks like a nipple on her pictures.
How indecent.
Yeah. So I was like, those are for a different app, babe. You can't post those on TikTok. But I digress. For now, we're just going to get her camera fixed and wait until the 17 comes out, because I've seen the leaks of what the 17 is going to look like. And the camera layout is very similar to the Google Pixel 8. Is that what they're on now?
I don't know.
The Pixel 8.
So
the latest Google Pixel, the camera layout is like, it's here and then extends to the like almost the whole length of the phone on the side.
interesting.
So
basically, so like this, except horizontal
Right.
across the top of the phone.
and it's
Okay.
only 3. It's going to be the same. It's going to be 3, but then there's going to be an extra thing over
Like a big
here.
bump.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's going to be a better camera, so it needs more space for hardware. So I think that's what it is.
That could be, but also a lot of people complain about when you put your phone down, how it doesn't stay flat. Like
Flush.
it would just wiggle.
Yeah.
So that might be another reason, which give them the extra space and the excuse to maybe put a better camera.
Well, I follow this page on Instagram that not all of them, but some of the leaks that they have dropped, they have come to reality. And one of the latest things that they dropped was that there's a rumor that the new camera for the 17 is going to be 200 megapixel, which is a big jump from the 48 megapixel that we have right now. But there's also other phones that have way better than 48.
Samsung cameras, yeah.
Oh yeah. The S24 Ultra was 200 megapixel max, and then I'm not sure what the S25 is. I never really looked into it.
Right. So I can see why they would do that. And there was also a leak of a rumor of an iPhone Air. So instead of doing the SE, which is what they've been doing, like the cheaper version, but it's literally just the previous generation and a new chassis, and they just call it the SE, and it's cheaper. But now they're going to do the Air, which is going to be thin, like very thin. It's not as powerful, obviously,
Right.
but it's more for those people that are like, oh, look at my phone, it's like super thin. We're going back to, like, I remember when cell phones came out, they were all like really big, and all of a sudden it was the cool thing was to have the smallest phone you can find.
Yeah.
So I think now it's
things are getting bigger. I think that's the same thing that Samsung's doing with what was it, the S25 Edge or something similar. So it's like it's not as powerful as some of the ones from the S25 line, but it's a good entry level into that new one.
Yeah, the only thing with that, the Air, what I saw too, it's lighter, because they use titanium versus aluminum. So It's just slightly less heavy.
Lighter. Right.
Mhm.
And I do have to say that if a Sidekick comes out, I'm dropping iPhone completely. I say that, but I'm not. But I've been waiting for a Sidekick to come out because
I
it's
think
been years.
it will be a hit or miss, like the Motorola Razr,
Yeah,
because it's out, but I don't see many people with. I don't know how many people have it. I don't know anyone that has it.
I know one guy. I'm not his biggest fan, but I know one guy that has it, and every time I see it, I'm like, that's a pretty cool phone because it is the camera width is the same, or not the camera, the screen width is the same, but it's a little bit longer.
Mhm.
Oh,
So
that new one that's all
Razr.
screen that folds.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I haven't heard anybody complaining about the folding part.
Yeah, no, the first one was bad because I know they
Yeah.
had the second. The
Yeah,
first one was not bad, but it was just like when they first did the first um Samsung Fold, that it
Right.
was like getting dirt in between and slightly like losing the pixels and whatnot.
right.
Oh yeah, there were numerous problems with the original Z Fold, and then
You have the second generation, right?
I had the third actually.
third.
I had the Z Fold 3, and the thing I didn't like about that was like some of those apps would just go kind of batshit when transitioning from the small screen to the big screen when opening it up, and I'm just like, this is, and then the cracks that started to form around the center after continued use, and I'm like, my next phone is not going to be a folding one. I'm going to hold off until
It was
a
cool to
few
have when it
generations.
first came, like when it
Oh,
first
yeah.
came out.
It was great, but after a while, I mean, it's not that the novelty wore off. It's just like some of the apps just didn't play nice with
Right.
transitioning between screens, and then of course with continued use, the center started to wear, and so like I figured, okay, fine, I'll wait a few generations to see how that technology and that progresses down the line.
I do have to say that if Apple releases a Fold, I don't care if it's. I usually don't like to buy the first generation of things or the first wave, but I've been waiting for years because I've one of my favorite phones was the Razr, and there was nothing better than when you were in the middle of an argument with somebody, say the last word and just that, because right before it hangs up, they can hear the closing of the phone. Yep.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that's what I'm going to be doing, but at the same time, I can't wait for it because I like the concept when Samsung did it, but I was in too deep with Apple, and I'm like, just because it's a folding, I'm not going to change everything I have for it.
No, I get you there. Well, I think also, I mean, we'd be foolish to assume that they're not looking into technology like that, but at the same time, they don't want to just throw it out to market like a lot of other manufacturers have at this point, because they want to, they're looking to see like how the technology progresses. And so we're at like what, the Z Fold 6 or 7, I don't even remember at this point. And so I mean, clearly the technology's gotten better, but I'm wondering if they're just waiting to see like how much further they take it before they do, before they start looking into it as like the next model of iPhone or something like that, or an alternative model of iPhone down the road.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that they'll get rid of their regular iPhone.
Oh, not a chance.
But they've been testing different models because they were doing first of all, they were doing the iPhone, the regular iPhone, and then the Pro, and then they were doing the SE, the regular, and then the Pro, and then they went from the regular to the Pro to the SE, and what was the other one that they were doing too? There was another one, the Plus. It was a regular but bigger. So they had pretty much
And now it's a Pro Max,
right.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
and they still have Plus now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Plus came out after because there were a lot of people complaining.
It's too small.
I mean, I can't afford the Pro Max either. So I want to get the regular one, but it's too small. I want something to compete with the Pro Max. I don't care about all the features. I just want a larger screen. So they did the SE, the regular, the Plus, the Pro, and the Pro Max. They had 5 different models. And if you're going to introduce the Air, it's still going to be 5 unless they get rid of the Plus. But I just, it's crazy.
Well, didn't you say the Air was replacing the SE?
Yeah, so the SE is going away, but do they keep the regular one and the Plus also? And then what if they introduce a foldable? Now you go to the store and they'll have just, and then you include the iPads also onto that. Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, it depends, because right now a lot of the foldables are essentially just phone size, with the exception of I think 1, maybe 2 manufacturers. And I honestly think I would assume that they would probably do that the way Samsung does theirs, because they'll announce and release within like a couple of months, like the S line with like the S24, S25. And then completely separately from that, like halfway down the year, they'll do like the fold lines. So the Z Fold or the Z Flip and what have you.
Right.
And those releases are separate. But I mean, Apple, it seems, has been doing pretty much all theirs just like all
In
at the
one
same
block.
time. Yeah. So I'm wondering if they would wind up splitting those up the way Samsung does, or if they would just keep doing it the way they've been doing and just have everything drop at once.
Well, they do separate their release of their iPads and then their Macs and then their phones.
I got
So
you.
their phones is the last quarter. And I think that the iPads are the first release of the blocks, which is around July. It's still almost the last quarter, but it's like almost every month they're releasing a different tier of products. And I was seeing here too.
They have already introduced this in the current version, which is called Genmoji. And you can create emojis there, whatever you want to create. And now they have an option where you can select 2 and then just mix them and create something new from that.
Right. And you can create your emojis for what it looks like. It's like, you know how you can create your own avatar as your picture. And I think that you can create your emojis with those. Like, you're sending an emoji that looks like you.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. It's like an avatar emoji. What else do they have here? I'm just looking at the highlights.
The Apple Intelligence has an option too for, I don't know if it's just intelligence, but the phone, the update itself for the headphones has a translator. Like what we saw from that one device that you had to pay so much a month to have. But now, if you have one of the newer AirPods Pro 2 or newer, it will have that option. Same with FaceTime. If you have another language, it will translate it live and put subtitles and whatever.
Yeah. I think that's pretty cool that they'll have live translation.
And on your text as well.
Yep.
Neat.
I did see that part of the liquid look that they're going for. Like when you're on a browser, they'll have now, instead of the page and where the toolbar is, it's actually going to be like when you start scrolling, it'll turn into like almost glass, and the page will be like screen size, like full screen. And then whenever you click on it, it'll come back. So that's something that's, I don't know if it's something that was needed, but I think, like I said, it's something that we didn't know we needed until now. And now also something as simple as, because I love customizing. You know, I hate things that are too simple when it comes to customizing. And when you put let's say you put a background and it recognizes what let's say I have a picture of like right now I have a picture of Sarah and the girls. So it recognizes the edge of the picture, and it'll ask you if you want to extend the clock all the way down, and makes it like 3D, and
It'll put it in the background behind your head.
Yeah.
Ah.
So I think that simple things like that, because right now the Watch OS has it. Like if what I have on the picture is like to the left of the screen, and it has a lot of real estate around it, it'll extend the clock and put it in the empty spot. Instead of putting it right on top of it, it'll put it wherever the empty spot is to not cover what you have on your picture. It'll recognize it. You don't have to do it yourself. It'll recognize it. So,
that's actually pretty cool. A lot of nifty little quality of life features.
Yeah. Simple things.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and when you take this, I don't know why I forgot about this. Let's say you take a screenshot of an event. The Apple Intelligence immediately recognizes it's an event. It'll ask you if you want to put it on your calendar. Something as simple as that. It's like, it's cool.
Yeah, I was just watching like a little video that the girl took a screenshot of this like banjo or like a music instrument, and then you can ask, because it's blending well with Chat GPT and whatnot. So it asks, what song was this instrument played on? And it search just with the screenshot.
That's pretty cool. And one thing that I didn't realize that I had it. I always saw it on my pictures, but I took a picture of our cats, and there was a icon on the bottom. It looked like a pet, and I clicked on it, and literally told me what my pet was, like the
breed.
The breed. And I'm like, that's so fucking cool. I didn't even realize that I had that. Not that it mattered. I didn't care what the breed of my cat was, but now I know what it is.
Yeah, they have that in I think flowers too.
So they've had a couple things that you didn't realize you needed or that you had. So I'm trying to open the
one feature I actually would like is in the Watch OS, which is when you get a notification, if you don't want to read it, then you just do the gesture like this to like put it away. It still be not open basically, but you can read it later.
That'd be cool. But they are stacking them now. It's going to be part of because I don't know why I never had it. Because I know the iPhone and the iPad had the notification stacks, the smart stacks that would recognize like all the ones from the same apps and put it all together, so it doesn't. You don't have a bunch unless you click on the stack of them. And now the Watch OS has that, or it's gonna have it, and they
Gotcha.
added notes to it too.
Oh yeah, yep, saw that too.
Yeah. And part of the Watch OS, it's going to have also the live translation.
Yep.
And they're
Very
deep
nice.
diving into the whole workout. Like they're
Oh yeah, you can have like basically the AI talk to you through your workout
yeah.
and tell you like updates of how far you've gone, the time and everything. So you keep your eyes on the road.
Wait, did you
If you're
say
running.
that Yadi, did you say that you wish I had that the gesture thing?
No, it has it.
Right, they just added it.
Yep.
Okay. I thought you said that I wish I had it, but I see it on here.
Mm.
No, yeah, yep. Yep. The Watch OS has it.
Cool.
I mean the next update. They have a lot of stuff for Mac too. At least like one of the features on the Mac, the shortcuts option, you can search, apps and whatever. You can text even from there. Um, that you can do a lot more stuff with just that feature with searching anything in your computer.
That was the workout buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. The Apple Watch OS incorporates AI in a new workout buddy, which keeps your fitness history and offers vocal coaching. Pep talks, for
You
example.
can do it.
Yeah. With a summary of your workout stats at the end, workout has a new layout and custom workouts. I mean, it already had that, but I can see how they would expand on it.
Mm.
I wonder if you have your headphones on and it'll talk to you. You're doing a great job. This bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm not doing a good job. I'm not running. I'm having a heart attack. I'm sitting on my couch.
I wonder if it'd be possible to change the vocal profile to like something like a drill sergeant, or instead of encouraging you, it just talks shit like a military drill
I
sergeant.
want to change it to Vegeta.
Oh, that too, yeah.
It looks like they're gonna stick to their Vision OS. So I thought that if they didn't sell too much, they were gonna scrap it. Because you know how they are. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
if something doesn't work,
It must have been enough of a success.
yeah. PlayStation VR2 Sense controller.
Yeah, so you can use it for different games. So you can pair up with it, and yeah, because right now you only use your hands with it, but
Mhm.
they added that for more accuracy, especially for games. And then it will remember
Cool.
more of so that already had the feature where it will remember, like if you put something on this wall, like a pictures, watch, whatever, calendar, whatever it is, um it remember before, but it was if you reset it or something like that, so it could just delete it basically. And now the new version will have that where it actually will stay there even if you reboot it.
Yeah, every time you put it back up, it's like part of the wall at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's a clock or anything like that.
Yeah,
Unlock your iPhone with your Vision Pro. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I don't have a Vision Pro, but whatever. Share
I
experiences.
still want to try that out.
Yeah.
I can unlock my computer with my watch.
I'm seriously thinking about getting a laptop for school.
The MacBook Airs are
Yeah.
not expensive. I mean,
Yeah, that's
they are, but
right. I
compared
know what you
to
mean.
compared to the other stuff,
Yeah. How
they
much do
are.
those run generally?
You can find it now for $800, $899.
Huh.
Typically, it's like 1100 to 999 or and up. But yeah, you can find one now, like a new one for 8 something.
That's not terrible. That's not too bad.
Especially this past weekend, they were running a sale.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
right
Yeah.
now the MacBook Airs from $999.
And in Best Buy, you can find discounts.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah. Yeah. Best
I'm
Buy
looking at
does
the Apple store.
Apple
Oh,
Store.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, Apple would not put a discount on their website.
No.
No,
Best
for
Buy. Well,
sure
I mean,
not.
Best Buy consistently does discounts on a lot of things, but they do a lot of Apple discounts as well. I've
Their
seen.
Mac Mini is $599.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. That's actually a very powerful. Or you could. I think they make it now where you can't really update it much. Like you can't add like a SSD because they charge you a lot for it, of course. But you can find good ones for as an external one. But those are very cheap for what they can do. The
Mm.
minis.
They have refurbished 13-inch MacBook Air with the M2 chip for $709. With the M3 chip is $759.
Wow.
Yeah,
Refurbished.
when I bought mine, it wasn't refurbished. It was just like a open box
Mm.
item, and it was like $600 off.
That's crazy.
It did not come with the charging cable. I just had to buy that after, but that's the only thing.
Right. Yeah. I hate doing it, but I was looking at Marketplace too.
Oh yeah, no. I wouldn't buy one thing there.
No. 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 High end tech like that.
Unless you're like nearby a college town
Yeah.
where you have um like students that are just here for this time and then they go back to their country if they're not from here. Happens a lot here where they just want to get rid of like computers and stuff that they can't
Mhm.
really take. That's the only way that you can find something semi decent. The other ones is just a gambling in life.
Yeah. I know.
Gambling in life or gambling with your life, depending on where you're at.
That too. I only meant with
Yeah.
like with just like gambling if it's gonna work or not. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got you there. No, yeah. The Facebook Marketplace is definitely not the first choice for heavy hitting technology purchases.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, it makes sense. College towns and whatnot. I mean, we've got what Daytona State and Embry-Riddle as the closest places, and
And
I
even
mean,
Orlando has
Mhm.
UCF.
yep.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in your little town, like you gotta drive a few hours to get to that. Maybe an hour
Oh
and a
yeah.
half.
For
Well, I
UCF,
mean,
it's about 45 minutes.
yeah. Well, I mean, and Embry-Riddle is. I mean, it being that in Daytona, that's what a 30-minute drive from you, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much one of the most popular schools in the country, essentially.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. So people want to go into like flying planes, working on planes, doing aerospace for like NASA and shit like that. That's where you go.
No, you go to Maya West in Puerto Rico.
Best
I'm
Buy,
not familiar with that one, but yeah.
$849.
I told you.
Yeah.
And
That's
Open
not
Box, $813.
yeah, that's not terrible. But yeah, no, Best Buy has offers on that stuff all the time.
Yes, and then when they combine with Apple offers, then it's like the Super Sunday. I don't know.
Well, you also get 4 free purchase items. Oh, shut the fuck up.
What?
I hate when they do this. 4 free items with this purchase.
Most of it's probably digital shit you wouldn't have otherwise.
A Costco membership.
No, it's 3 months of free Apple Music,
Okay.
3 months of Apple Arcade,
They divided it all.
2 months of iCloud, which I
Not
already
3.
which I already paid for.
Yeah.
2 terabytes anyways. And 2 months of free Apple TV.
And I would assume all of which is new subscribers only.
No, actually, a lot of times with those, you can still activate it.
New or returning subscribers.
Oh, okay.
I love how it says new or returning subscribers only. I was like, what is the other option?
Like you being already a subscriber.
Well, no, if you ended
Then
your
I cancel
subscription,
it.
right? If you ended your subscription and you wanted to go back, it's like, okay, this is a convenient excuse to get a couple more months for free.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Every now and then, T-Mobile has like the Apple TV for 6 months.
Yeah. Like right now, AT&T gives us HBO Max.
Yeah,
for
we
free.
get
As long
we
as we're
get,
customers, we get HBO Max.
we get Netflix only, and
Same
oh
with
no,
mine.
you can choose actually between Apple TV and Netflix, and then
Well, I think they also have options for Paramount. I think, do they have options for Paramount Plus? I'm trying to remember. And I think one other thing
could
as
be.
well.
I don't know. It could be. I know with like Xfinity here, which is your Spectrum, they have Peacock, so they include Peacock in their stuff.
Gotcha.
If you go on Amazon DA MacBook Air, it's also $849.
We gotta see which model because they sell like
And
sometimes
for
like
the M4
the
chip, 2025 MacBook
okay
Air.
because yeah, some places will just say, hey, this is like $400, and then they're selling you like the Intel ones that they haven't made in a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that one is the 2025. It's both of them on Best Buy and on Amazon.
Well, it makes sense. Amazon would have to do something in response because they definitely want to keep up and keep people shopping with them.
Yeah, for sure. The 2020 MacBook Air with the Intel, the i3, 128 gigabytes storage.
Yeah, the i3 is old.
Yeah. It's $339.
That's expensive for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 2022 with the M2 chip renewed is $659.
Seems reasonable for what you're getting.
Yeah, I don't think that one's bad. It's almost 14-inch screen. It's 13.6.
I think that's what I have. Either M1 or M2. It's for 14. At the time, there was only the M2 of them and the M1. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the one with the M1 chip, 2020, it's $397. So for $30 more, you can get the one with the Apple chip than the Intel from the same year. Because I remember that when they released the early 2020 model, because that's how, when you go on the settings, it says early, mid, or late. depending on the year. So the early 2020 was Intel, and then the late 2020 was M1. And the 2024 with the M3 chip, it's $1,000.
Wow.
So I can buy the new one
For less.
for $150 less.
But that's with the probably like the low, of course, the lowest storage and all that stuff. So at least the reason why I went with the M1, I think, is because their storage came in, or their RAM was actually in 2 slots, and the newer one with the same amount of RAM, it was only in 1 slot, and that's
So
why I chose.
unified.
That's why I chose the M1 over the M2, plus the price. But
Yeah,
Mm.
this
That
one
one
is the M3 unified 16 gigs with 512 gig SSD storage.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 1,000. But then the new one with 16 also unified with the M4 chip, 256 gigabytes. That one's $849. So it's pretty much less storage, but everything else is the same for $150 less. Which I already have the iCloud 2 terabytes anyways.
and this is the Air, right?
The Air.
Mm.
I got to get a new charger for my iPad.
Oh no.
Yeah. Because out of the blue, stop charging. Right now, I'm doing the cardinal sin. Using a regular charger for it. Not an Apple charger.
Yeah, go with Anchor. They have some good ones.
I just had to find one that I had around. I
Mm.
haven't been using the iPad too much, so I went to do the live stream that I did last week with the Legos. I had my phone with the back camera, so I couldn't see the screen for people that were commenting and whatever.
Mhm.
So I logged in through the iPad on the Nerd Archive TikTok just to see what they were saying.
Gotcha.
So, all right. On that note, do you guys have anything else? Because I feel like now we're just talking.
It's pretty much. I think we spent the last 15 minutes just talking about random stuff and rattling off prices from Best Buy and Amazon. And
Well, our people
Like-
need to know too.
true enough. True enough.
Did you see what the sushi said to the bee?
What?
What's up, bee?
All right.
Okay.
On that note, do you guys have anything else? No? Cool? No?
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you guys for joining us. I don't know why I do this every single time that I am going to introduce us or say goodbye, but thank you guys for joining us today. My name was Louis, Yadi, Justin. This was the Nerd Archive. We'll see you next week. Justin, what can they do?
Click all the things.
Yes, sir. You heard the man. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Chicken
Chicken.
Arar.
Arar.